Hello, friends. Welcome to Soul Shift Coaching. I am David Hale. Thank you for being here. Well, this is a new year, and it just happens to be in a handful of days. I'm actually turning 50, which is blowing my mind. And what's so crazy about 2025 is there are about 10 or 12 dates that run throughout the entire year that mark a major anniversary for me, whether it's official or not. One of them is being 40 years ago on March 29th, I gave my first ever prayer to the universe. It was the day after my dad's dad passed away, and I remember going up to the elementary school I attended to shoot some hoops. And I remember just throwing out a prayer to the universe. I don't remember the specifics, but it was just about a well-being prayer. And so on March 29th this year, it'll be 40 years into my life since that prayer. 40 is a interesting number, whether you are a person of faith or not. In my humble opinion, you have to respect the biblical corpus because of just for nothing else, because it has stood the test of time. So if you're not a person of faith, I humbly suggest to you that you actually read it from a historical perspective so you can understand a foundational brick, whether you agree with it or not, of the entire Western world. But that's an aside. 40 years is a big number, is one of major significance. One of them is because the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years before they made it to the promised land. And though I've been in recovery for over 19 years and I have been blessed with family that loves me and friends and success as the world would dictate it and so forth, and I have joy, and there's a whole bunch of boxes that I've checked. The irony here is as I'm stepping into my 50th year on the planet, that in many ways I feel like I'm coming out of the wilderness for the first time. And it is that mindset, it's that humility, it's that understanding that, oh my Lord, I might be halfway done, but I got another half to go. It is that mindset and that status of being that makes me more excited than I have ever been at this point in time. I don't think I've been this excited since I first stepped into recovery. How excited are you? When you scan over what's to come for the next 12 months in 2025, what are you excited about? I was reminded talking with someone here recently, Econ 101, whether you're in high school or college, most of us have taken a basic economics course, and we were chatting and it just came to me. Do you all remember the difference between, when you have a line in a graph, you have the X and the Y axes, and you got a line in the graph, and there's a movement along the curve or an actual shift in the curve? Well, see, a lot of us are just simply moving along the curve, thinking that we're transforming ourselves. A movement along the curve is just addressing stuff around the edges. It's putting lipstick on a pig. It's just changing some odds and ends of life. And if you're anything like me, spoiled and blessed in this wonderful country of ours, that we don't really hurt for anything. That doesn't mean there's not pain and so forth, but we don't really hurt for anything. Life is quite comfortable. I can deceive myself and I can trick myself thinking that I'm making these great strides when in actuality, I'm just moving along the curve. And that's not what I want. That's not what drives me. It's not what I want for you. It's not why I created Soul Shift Coaching by David Hale. I want to shift the curve. I want a radically different life. I want a radically different mindset. I want freedom and power and joy. See, joy is an attitude. It's a posture. It's a way of life. Not six-pack happy, though that comes from time to time, and it's great to be happy, and that's okay. But I want to shift in the curve, and that's what I want for you. Are you shifting the curve? When was the last time you had a shift in the curve? Where you just radically transported yourself to a new state of mind, to a new zip code, to a new outlook on life? Well, I just did another one on Sunday. My wife and I have been married for a long time. But there was something that I'd been holding on to for several years. See, 1 year becomes 2, becomes 5, becomes 7 if we don't get these things out. And what I ended up doing on Sunday was I made amends to my beautiful, sweet wife. Because the thing that I was holding on to over the years, and it was intermittent, it wasn't always on the surface or expressing itself, but over the years, I just had this slight undercurrent of anger that was erroneously directed toward her too often, because it all rests with me. I was the one who did not take action. I was the one that was not honest with myself. I was the one that was not courageous enough to put things on the table and bring it to light. Well, as part of my long run I did on Sunday, because I'm training to do an ultra marathon, I'm throwing it out there to keep myself honest. Next August, this August of 25, with a dear buddy of mine, I hope to be doing an ultra marathon. And on my long runs, revelations very often come. Thank you, Lord. And on this long run on Sunday in the beautiful sun of San Diego, the good Lord said, it's time for you to say it. It's time for you to put it on the table. It's time for you to be courageous. It's time for you to drop this bag of rocks. So I came back, showered up, changed over, and made amends. I didn't have to do it. She didn't even know it was coming. But I can tell you what, we have shifted our marriage into the next phase. See, it's beautiful. See, we've been married for a long time, but we are not the same people. Thank goodness. Because we've been courageous enough, sometimes kicking and screaming, to actually shift the curve. And that's why I call it soul shift coaching. See, transformation can only unfold when you first have that soul shift revelation, that moment of clarity, that aha moment. And then once you have that soul shift, then transformation is about aligning your mind and body, following your soul. See, I stayed drunk on a bar stool for 10 years saying knowing is half the battle. I know I'm an alcoholic. And I just stayed right there, comfortable in my misery. See, that's a movement along the curve. That's not what 2025 is about. See, I'm going to the promised land, and I'm inviting you to come along. Do you know you are eligible too for the promised land? See, we all are. But we get stuck thinking we're transforming ourselves when we're really just moving along the curve. See, we need to be bold and be radical in our mindset, in those things that we do or don't do to ensure that we are taking big, bold steps each and every day to ensure that we end up where we want to be. See, we're the only creature that can live into your future self. We're the only creature that can actually envision the future and then align our actions today, our thoughts and our actions today, to help create that future person. And I want you to be the future person that you want to be. A lot of the things that I do here at Soul Shift Coaching is help people get unstuck. So check me out. Go to soulshift.org and check me out. Reach out to me. Let's have a free consultation. Find out where you are and to find out, more importantly, who you want to be, and I'll help you get there. If you've liked this content, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And remember, my dear friends, be strong, be courageous, stand firm. You're worth it.